So welcome everyone to the Influence Tonight TikTok Influencer webinar. I'm really glad to have you here on this webinar. I'm just gonna share my screen, so I'm gonna show you a PowerPoint. So welcome to the Influence Tonight TikTok Influencers, how to run yourself on TikTok as an entrepreneur, coach, and business owner. So the main panelist today is Michael Khieu, but I'm gonna let the host present Michael. And I think there's a lot of people that know Michael already. All right. So for those who don't know, Influence Tonight has a mission to connect local influencers with the audience. We do that through events, webinar, podcasting, and now also conference and panel. You can follow us on the Instagram, Facebook page, YouTube channel. You can also take pictures about this webinar and share it on your stories if you want. Just tag us Influence Tonight community. And because we are not doing this alone, I just want to present of partners and the sponsor of the event. So the first one is Yann Lajoie Performance. He's on the live. Yann Lajoie is an entrepreneur, performance coach, and speaker. His goal is to help business leaders develop better version of themselves and therefore improve their businesses. He spoke twice Influencers Tonight. I'm just gonna let him talk a little bit. Hey, Yann.
Hey guys. First of all, thank you guys, all the superstar. I love to see the power players on the house. Hugo Prince, my man, you did it, man. You got 12% on Friday night. All for one purpose, guys, is to just for everybody there, man. Just grab a pen. I always have a notepad. I take some note. Hugo, good job. Congrats. Really happy to be here. I got crazy day. I hope that COVID will be finished and I can take holiday soon. Will be good. Can get a haircut, and I will be really happy for that. Merci Hugo, thank you. Merci de m'avoir introduit. Guys, j'ai une mission dans la vie, c'est optimiser les gens qui veulent performer. Ce que Hugo il fait, puis c'est pour ça que je suis là aujourd'hui cet après-midi, cette soirée. Prenez des notes, passez à l'action, puis aussi communiquez entre vous autres. J'en fais beaucoup de webinaires, puis les gens, là, vous avez tout le temps quelqu'un qui peut peut-être vous aider. Jesse is the guy for all the video. Ingrid, she's amazing. Tous les guys ensemble, vous avez énormément de ressources. Puis à mon tour aussi, ce que je vous dis, if I can help you guys, hang out with me, connect with people. I know somebody that can help you and somebody that you know that can help me. If we can influencer united, it's meant to be together. We are stronger. We're different. We are entrepreneurs. Crazy idea to become entrepreneurs. And Hugo, merci, man, pour les événements. Même chose, guys. If you don't know me, Yann Lajoie. I drink a lot of coffee every day. I got a lot of joy. I got a lot of fun every day. My rule number one. And if I can help you guys, please connect. Ask me anything. I will connect with people. I'm doing Le Mot du Coach. Hugo was one of my guys. If you guys want to pass to the Le Mot du Coach, just ask me. It will be a pleasure. C'est comme Hugo il fait, c'est vous mettre le feu du projecteur puis vous aider à avoir plus de business. Je vais arrêter de parler, mais je vais prendre tout le show, puis à 7 heures, on va laisser parler Michael. So guys, man, félicitations. Moi, je peux pas rester tout le long, mais je vais rester le plus longtemps que je peux. Puis, what is all about this TikTok thing? I don't know TikTok. Is it talk or tick? I'm just confused. So please, man, help me to use this application. I want to be everywhere. I will talk tick. And thank you guys to be there.
Thank you, Yann. So I just want to let you know that this webinar is also in French, so you can ask your questions in French. Don't worry about it. Ingrid and Michael, they speak French. If there is anyone that wants to speak French also. All right, so the next sponsor is M Ton Cerveau. I don't think he's there, Louis-Philippe. So M Ton Cerveau is an organization that raises awareness about stroke injuries among people under 35 years old. So we are glad to collaborate with M Ton Cerveau because I believe Louis-Philippe, the founder, has a great mission, but he's not here, so he's going to connect later on. I just want to introduce the host so that we can start. So the host of today, Ingrid, has been part of our community since our third event, Influence Tonight LinkedIn Influencer, and she has hosted our latest panel collaboration with Greg, event Jumpstart Your Business. She has so much energy, and I hope she's gonna bring a lot of value to you guys with Michael. They already did an IG live, so they really have a good chemistry. So I will let Ingrid take over and present Michael.
Hey, hello everyone. Donc, comme Hugo a mentionné, c'est en français, it's in English. Just to make sure that everyone understands French. Is it the case? Does everyone understand French? Because if not, we will not speak French at all. So, okay, so you can write down in the comments just in case, or nod your head. Okay, so Lucas, no? Is that what you said? No? Okay, so we will mainly focus in English then, okay? Just make sure that everybody's on the same page. Guys, I'm super happy, super hyped to be here. I really, really thank you. I'm looking forward to this. Michael brings a lot of value. I'll bring as much value as I can. I'm mainly there to, you know, bring a little joy, bring a little bit of hypeness. Also make sure that you guys understand that you follow. After each section, I will summarize. We'll make sure that we are all on the same page. Speaking of which, it's really important, like, guys, write down, you know, in the comment box, write down maybe your field, what it is that you do. Like, are you a personal brand? Are you like, do you have a, you know, a company? What field is that? Also, you know, some of the questions that Hugo already received, how to get clients with TikTok, how to get videos, you know, reaching like 100 plus, you know, K views, stuff like that. All of that we will cover. How to use hashtags effectively, how to post the right comment to attract the right people, to attract the right clients. So, you know, without further ado, I mean, Michael, I mean, a lot of you already know him, King Khieu, at King Khieu, is on Instagram, is on Facebook, is on TikTok, is on pretty much everything, you know. Like, you think of a platform, Michael is already there, is already mastering that thing, you know, to the best of his ability. And I've met him through Hugo, so I'm really, really grateful because it's already brought to me a lot of value, and it'll be, you know, it'll be bringing as much value to you tonight. So without further ado, I mean, just maybe what I would recommend is, you know, as already Jan mentioned, take down a notepad, take down a pen, make sure you have it all out. I will just, you know, go through the steps so that way you know every time what we add, so that way they structure and you understand. So the first one, what we'll cover first will be algorithm. And, you know, under that first section, we will talk about the macro overview algorithm. That's 1.1. 1.2 will be authority rank. 1.3 will be classification. Okay, so after that, what we'll do is that we'll take a short break just in case, just to leave your brain, you know, like be able to breathe a little bit and be able to follow. And after that, we'll come back, maybe like a 5 minutes, you know, break. We'll come back for the second part, which is the tactics. So second part will cover 2.1 will be the content creation. 2.2 will be the first scene, you know, whenever you think about TikTok. The following will be the main body, and also the last part, okay? So without further ado, I'll let Michael talk about the first section, which is algorithm, and then introduce, you know, more about the macro overview algorithm.
So, I mean, I hope everyone's taking full advantage of the quarantine and the lockdown that we have up to now. I mean, it's been, even though a lot of us maybe have lost their jobs or not in school, we have a lot of time, so we can definitely triple down on the amount of content we can pump out. I'm going to start off by giving an overview of how the algorithm works, because as opposed to Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, understanding the algorithm on those platforms is a good supplement. You can still manage to grow without really understanding the back end or the technical side of the algorithm. But on TikTok, it is the prereq to win. It is the prerequisites. So I'll jump straight into it, and then we could find a way to reverse engineer content to be fully in line with the algorithm, so you can maximize the amount of organic reach that you acquire. So I'll start off with the macro overview of how the algorithm operates and how it works. Basically, the idea is this. It's every time you post a piece of content on your feed, a piece of content on your page, it is going to get boosted to a certain number of people. A first wave of 150 people, 100 to 150 people, then the algorithm is going to evaluate based on certain metrics how the people are responding to your piece of content. There's 5 metrics that they're going to be evaluating. The 2 most important metrics that they look at is what we call a rewatch rate and a completion rate. The rewatch rate and the completion rate is basically defined as, the completion rate is basically if the person has viewed the entire video, not 30%, not 80%. It means absolutely nothing. All the points come from when they watch the entire video. And the second metric that's evaluated is the rewatch rate, which gives you a massive bonus points, if you want to call it that. Just for like ease of explanation, I call it by a certain number of points. Now, here's one thing that a lot of people ask me. They say, if the completion rate is so good and the rewatch rate is so good, if I make a 1 second or 2 second video and put the completion rate on hyperdrive, then my video should technically go viral. It doesn't work that way, because there is a weight that is attributed to the completion rate based on the length of the video. So if the video is 60 seconds, the completion rate gives you, I don't know, let's just, for ease of explanation, it gives you 30 points. Okay, 30 points for that completion rate. And the 15-second video completion rate would give you maybe like 5 points or 8 points. Okay. Anything that is, we know for a fact that anything that is below 10 to 11 seconds, as far as videos, the completion rate that is attributed is incredibly low. So like I had a guy talk to me like just before this presentation. He's like, "Yo, bro, I have a 5.6 second video that I posted up, and the average time that people watched the video was 10 seconds, but it didn't really go that viral. If the average time is 10 seconds, that means people are really rewatching the whole thing. It's because the rewatch rate and the completion rate for a video less than 10 seconds, almost meaningless." Okay. The three other metrics that you're going to evaluate, and it's in order, is the shares, the number of comments, and the number of likes. The number of comments and the number of likes almost mean nothing. I had videos, 11,000 comments. I had videos that had tremendous number of likes, basically did almost nothing, because in a lot of third world countries or like whatever, they have like a lot of these, they call it click farms. They call it click farms. So you can like purchase likes and purchase whatever. Or you can have they have like an army of like phones that just auto like a bunch of accounts. So the likes means almost nothing. So the rewatch rate, completion rate, most important. Once the video hits, so the first wave is going to be 150. The second wave is going to be 500 views. The third wave, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, whatever. At a certain level, we don't know what the level is. And to be honest, it's probably subjective based on the employee's decision at TikTok. Okay. There's going to be a manual check that's going to happen by a TikTok employee. They're going to check, okay, this video is deemed viral at the moment. We think that this video is going to do very good to boost the user experience of the people on the platform. We're going to boost it to 7 million, 5 million, 10 million people. Okay, so that's how it works. That's basically how the macro algorithm works. And it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 followers or 5,000 followers or 1 million followers. It's always going to go through the similar cycle of the 100 to 500 to 1,000. That's why I see a lot of times, like whether you have 100,000 followers or 5,000 followers, almost the same thing. That's why we're getting a bunch of guys. I'm getting a bunch of people that message me and they're like, I have 1 million followers, but they're only getting 500 likes, 500 views or 1,000 views. It's because each piece of content is just going to be independently pushed on the algorithm, irregardless of the amount of followers you have. Now, there's still some sort of merit to getting followers, because the extra followers that you have can potentially help you boost the post onto the next wave. But the number of followers, in comparison to, like, let's say Instagram, like whether you have 100,000 on Instagram or 5,000, it's almost the same thing. I could start an account right now and I'll compete with a guy that has 400K followers and I'll destroy him. So that's the basic idea of the overview of the algorithm. I don't know if you guys have any questions regarding
before they have any questions, because Hugo already sent me one question. I just want to make sure that everybody understood that, take the time to, and thank you for your pace, the voice pace, that's really perfect. I'm really proud of you. So, the 5 elements, the 5 elements, the macro overview algorithm, you have 5, the main 2, the most important one, guys, write them down because it's really, really important. Guys, what you need to remember is that right now, depending on your level, of TikTok, right now, everything that Malcolm might be saying might sound like whatever gibberish-ish type of thing. And it will come more and more understandable as we go along, is most likely as you practice and as you actually post and then use the platform. So the first 2, the main 2, actually, the one was the rewatch. So the rewatch rate, and the second one was the completion rate, and it needs to be completed 100%. So the person will need to have watched the entire video, not just like 10 second, the entire thing, 100%. So that's really important.
Yeah, that's going to be, this is very important for the second part when I start talking about content creation, when I start explaining to you tactics of how to reverse engineer content to be fully in line with the rewatch and the completion rate. You're going to see.
Okay. And also what's the perfect length? Like, is there any perfect length? That's one of the questions that I received.
The perfect length is you should practice as much as possible for the video to be as short as possible, with the best of your ability to keep the person as hooked as long as possible on the video. If you do that, so like the advantage of like a 15-second video versus 60-second video even though the completion rate is proportional based on the length of the video, there's a much higher chance for the person to just opt out of that video if it's a 60-second video. If you guys even have a 2-second or 1-second lag in the video or a pause, you lost 30% of your traffic. That 1-second delay is night and day.
Okay, that's good. And also, you talked about, you said hyperdrive. When we talked about those two main elements, you know, within the 5 metrics, you said hyperdrive. Maybe you want to explain that so that way everyone's on the same page.
Oh yeah, hyperdrive is just like a way I'm speaking. Just like, I'm just saying like, it just basically means like the rewatch rate on hyperdrive means like to have it go like,
non-stop.
you know, like often. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions before we get to the other one, which is authority rank? Just to make sure. So rewatch rate and the completion rate, 100% of the video. And the last 3 are also important, but not as important, which are the shares and the number of comments, as well as the number of likes.
Okay, so my question is, if you have a lot of videos that, you know, have a lot of completion and rewatching and they end up on the For You page, you get into a different category where most of your videos will be looked at differently or would show up. I guess people who go viral a lot show up on the For You page. So
yeah,
do you automatically do that, or is it per video, per post?
Yeah, I mean, each video is going to be evaluated independently, but that question basically follows up with the next part, which is the authority rank, which we're going to cover soon. Yeah, it'll be clear after I explain it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so basically the authority rank, how it works is pretty straightforward. Every single account has a thing called an authority rank. Okay, the authority rank, let's say we put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for the ease of explanation. The amount of authority rank that you have is going to basically determine the maximum potential organic reach that your account could acquire or your videos can acquire. So if you have a high authority rank, you have a chance to get a lot of views. If you have a low authority rank, your chances of getting a lot of views is almost minimal. If the account is getting less than 100 views, it means the authority rank is basically destroyed, completely destroyed, and we've classified your account as a zombie account. If the account's a zombie account and it's getting less than 100 views, it's almost irredeemable for you to save yourself. You might as well just start a new account altogether. Certain behaviors and certain things are going to contribute to you raising your authority rank, and certain behaviors are going to contribute to destroying your authority rank. If you're getting a bunch of violation guidelines, destroys the authority rank. If you are engaging in spam behavior because you want to get a little bit of more traffic on your page by liking a bunch of comments, liking a bunch of videos, follow method, automation tools, fake followers, fake likes, fake whatever, that's going to destroy your accounts. If you get low performing videos, that will also destroy your authority rank. If you get high performing videos, that will raise your authority rank. So it's almost like, I'm all for volume posting on social media. Like Instagram, I'll post like there's no tomorrow. But on TikTok, you almost want to be a little bit more perfectionist with every single post. Because if you get low performing videos, like a video that's like, you just kind of threw it out there and you're like, I'm gonna hurry up and try to post this thing up, it's gonna destroy, it's gonna hurt a little bit the overall rank for your entire account. And so your following videos might not be as viral or get the chance to get as viral. If you're getting a bunch of videos, especially straight out the gate, that have like super high performance and you've been categorized as a high level account, then we're going to boost you a lot more in the following videos. When you're first starting an account, the algorithm is really going to evaluate your account very, very carefully. They're going to give you an extra amount of organic reach so they can check, okay, this account is actually getting pretty good videos. And the first 5 videos that you post up, 5 to 10 videos, are the most critical videos for you to determine your beginning authority rank. Let's just say that. That's why you see like accounts that like start out the gate with 1 million views on their first 5 videos, and it's like every following video 1 million views, 2 million views, 3 million views, and then other accounts you see 50 views on their first video, and it's basically dead.
Amara, did Michael answer your question? Was that clear?
Yeah, I guess she started her account, quite a while ago, years ago, probably. She's 13, so sorry. But she just now started to really get into it because she's 13 and she can, do more. So is that going to hurt her because her videos from all her prior videos weren't, I guess, as good as they are now?
Again, the authority rank will be, we shouldn't be too hung up on every little detail as far as like how much authority rank is going to be damaged. So even if you had like a couple of videos in the past that got like low performance, as long as your following videos get high performance, it's going to outweigh all the downside. So you can definitely redeem yourself or save yourself. Yeah. So even if you had like, even for me, so even just to give you guys an example, even for me, my first 10 videos, not good. They got like 500 views, 1,000 views, 2,000 views. And then all of a sudden my 10th or 11th video got 800,000 views. And since that point, it was like, I'm like, okay, I know what to do now.
At home, if you're ever wondering, how can you get there? I mean, we'll cover that, most likely into the content creation, the second part. For now, we just want to make sure that you guys understood everything that Michael just mentioned. Authority rank most likely is about maximizing, your reach of your account. There's a question that I'm so sorry about the pronunciation, Iftikhar will ask soon. And in the meantime, you talked about a zombie account. Is there a way for me to know that I am a zombie, that my account is a zombie account?
The best indication is if your videos are getting less than 100 views. It means that it's not even being boosted on the first wave on the For You page. They're not even boosting it to 150 views.
Okay. At home, guys, just make sure like everybody's following so far. And there's also Hugo, if you could,
Yes. So if the car has a question, so I'm gonna unmute him. Okay.
Okay, attends. Maud Boivin, she said, what's the For You page? Is she saying what is the For You page? The For You page is the way to get discovered on TikTok. Right. It's the only vertical where you can actually get a lot of traffic coming in onto your page. It's the For You page. It's like the discover feed. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna mute Ali.
Okay. Hi, everyone. By the way, my name is Iftikhar. Nice to meet you all. Actually, I got inspired myself from Michael Khieu, which is a great, like an amazing guy when it comes to content creation. He's amazing. So how I started is basically is just like how he mentioned, the first 10 videos that I posted, it was, dance related, like, cause I'm a dancer myself. So I did like a tutorial video, and then after that was just, just random stuff that just came out to my mind. But they had like, around 200, 100 views and such. So one of the things is that after that, I'm like, you know what, I need to do something different. So after that, I decided to, do also top sevens, just like Michael, because from him, I decided to take like his idea and make it my own. And of course, TikTok is known to, take ideas of others, but make it your own original way. So, so my question is basically, like, let's say if you kept doing videos, like such as on the dancing area, like let's say for me, if I did dancing, because now my videos are also like blowing up every time I post them. But if I did something like, let's say, dancing related, I would still get like, low amount of engagements and low amount of likes and such. Is it also because that I didn't follow a niche or something, or I don't know? I'm going
to talk about that in third part, classification and audience targeting.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, bro.
Brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got you, bro. I got you.
Love you, man. All right.
Maybe just before we get to, exactly that part, the classification, so that way you guys get your answers as well. Any other questions, or we will skip straight to the next one? And maybe, anyways, at the end of it all, we will come back, and if you have more questions, it will be time for you to ask.
Yes,
so ahead,
there is James. I send it to Michael. He say I post 2 videos this morning and views are low now since my last video is my account a zombie account now.
I mean, I don't know if the overall account is a zombie account, but one thing's for sure that you guys need to keep in mind is that the last 7 weeks now, 7 to 8 weeks to 2 months, so 2 months since the lockdown and the isolation happened, Everybody's chilling at home. Everybody's pumping out a bunch of content. The competition level rose in a radical way in one shot. They also had a rise in users, 350 million users in the first quarter. But the amount of competition and content being pumped out did not offset the amount of supply, the amount of users. So there's a possibility too that and this happened in the last 2 weeks, that these servers of TikTok have been overloaded, meaning that some of your videos that you think are going to do super well because you have a structure and formatting and whatever, didn't do as well. So it might not be because you're a zombie account. It might just be because TikTok is lagging. And the thing too, guys, is like, once you post your video, okay, don't even look at this is what I always say to people for mindset. Don't even look at the video and the views for 15 hours, 10 to 15 hours. Like, just close your eyes completely, move on to the next video. I had a video that I posted up 3 days ago. I had 50,000 views capped out at 15, 20 hour mark. And then all of a sudden start blowing up. Now it's 7 million views. 20 hours after. On TikTok, they have a thing called a delayed explosion. It's called a delayed explosion, okay? The video can be recycled based on the competition level of the entire app. So if the competition level drops at one point and your video manages to reach the certain threshold of engagement for the amount of views that we've artificially given to you, then it could be reboosted up on the For You page even 4 weeks down the line. So the best thing to do, close your eyes 10, 15 hours and don't even worry about that content for like 3 weeks. Just like leave it there, because it could blow up even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks down the line.
Maybe to get, you know, to get it on with other creation. Because I don't know about you guys at home, but I mean, I tend to watch my thing, you know, like pretty much all day, every day. Like, what can I, you know, do better and stuff like that. So you just leave it rest, and after that you do something else. Okay.
Yeah, because or else it becomes like kind of like an energy drainer, an obsession. Yeah. It's like, okay, bro, I got 5 views now. And then you check 2 minutes later, okay, shit, I got 10 views. Oh, bro, what's happening? It's stagnating. It makes you insane. It makes you insane. Just like close your eyes.
Yeah, it's all good. So let's talk about classification now. So that way, if Tika also answers the question.
Perfect. Okay, so classification is basically the idea that every account is going to be classified down a certain lateral. They're going to be like, okay, this is a fitness account. This is a music account. Okay, we're gonna if the account user, because you basically have to teach the algorithm what your account is going to be about. You have to teach them what it's about. The only information they know about your account when you're first starting out is that you're geographically located in a certain area. That's why a lot of people, like, let's say I'm Canadian. That's why I'm getting a lot of traffic by people that are in Montreal or Canadians, because they're like, okay, he's from Canada, I'm gonna boost it to people that are in the area. You have to teach it to boost it to a certain demographic that you've decided to basically your vision and your target audience. So how do you do that? You classify the account based on every single behavior that you do with your account. So if you're a fitness account, you want to follow only fitness people. You want to view videos that are only in fitness. You want to comment on people that are only in.
Okay.
The tactics that you can use to classify your account properly, besides all of the behaviors that you engage in, as far as like interacting with the app, is using hashtags of a particular niche. For hashtags specifically, the hashtags on IG and TikTok do not have the same primary purpose. The hashtags on IG are designed for direct exposure and influx of traffic to your accounts. The hashtags on TikTok are for classification of the account down a certain lateral. So what I would do with hashtags, and you shouldn't break your head too much with it, because again, you could go viral without hashtags, is to find 5 or 6 core hashtags that are specific to your niche, and then fill up the rest of the caption with hashtags that are specific to the content or the idea behind this one post.
Okay, so I just want to summarize that. I know that Hiftekar just nodded your head. You got all your answers. That's good. Okay, that's good. We also have a few questions. I'll make sure to include them. But before I do that, so you talked about classification. You said, okay, pretty much what we need to do is teach the app, you know, in what field we are. So that way we are boosted within that specific field. So we follow, we comment, we like those who are into that field. You talked about 2 categories for the hashtags. You talk about specific, where, just make sure that everyone's on the same place, where we would put them. You know, in Instagram, for instance, we can put that, you know, in the caption and also in the comment. as for the TikTok, what would you put them? The specific, what would you put them?
You just it's all for TikTok.
Caption.
It's all going to be in the caption, and there's a certain character limits. I would just fill it up to the max.
Okay.
One thing for hashtags that I do too, and this is more of a bonus than anything else, because again, the primary purpose for hashtags on TikTok is to classify properly, is I try to use hashtags that are not too strong, so I can conquer the top position of the hashtags. Mm-hmm. So like you search up a hashtag entrepreneur, it's all my Khieu. You search up hashtag business, it's all my Khieu. I just completely dominate those hashtags one by one. I call it the hashtag conquest.
And would you change the hashtag? You know, remember yesterday we talked about that within our lives. You said, okay, have a hashtag for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, would you change your hashtags every time you post, so you don't necessarily use the same one?
Again, the hashtags on Instagram, I did the hashtag cycling because you don't want to compete with your own posts. On TikTok, to be honest, like I said before, the guidelines are basically 5 core hashtags specific to the account, and then fill up the rest that are specific to that specific post.
Okay, that's good.
There's less of a strategy with hashtags on TikTok, because again, it's not about direct exposure. On Instagram, you have the hashtag ladder, whatever, but not on TikTok. By the way, also one thing to keep in mind very carefully, because I don't want you guys to just fill up your caption with a bunch of hashtags, is to make sure that you actually write out words in the caption. So if the thing is about, like, for example, me, top 7 countries with the most PlayStation users, literally write out top 7 countries with the most PlayStation users, because the algorithm is actually going to look at the keywords, not just the hashtags.
Okay. I have a question from Sandy. Can you use VPN to change your location? Because you talked about that, you know, the boosting within the location, because that's the only thing that, you know, the app knows. So can you use VPN? Would that be a good thing or not? What do you think?
You could decide to use a VPN, but I mean, I'm not a huge fan with any of these like VPN or networking hacks or automation tools, because the algorithm sees it. Like, I mean, you could try it, but like, for example, me, I have 40% followers from India, you know, but I'm in Canada. And it's because I've decided to make certain types of content that were addressing, let's say, an Indian demographic. And then when they push it to 150 people on the first wave, there might be 20 people in there that are from India. And then they see the 20 people from India have responded very, very strongly with my accounts. Now we're going to push it on the 500 view wave to 100 Indians. And then that's how you get, like, they just kind of like push it straight to India.
Okay, that's really interesting. I have another question from Lucas. The question is more specific to him, and I'll include it so that way, you know, everybody can benefit from it. The question specifically is, what are good hashtags related comedy videos? But the question that I would ask you would be, what is a good way to find hashtags related to my niche?
You search up the hashtags in the hashtag section at the top in the search bar, or when you're writing out the hashtags, you search up, like, let's say hashtag, for me, hashtag business, and then you run through and you take a look at the popularity of the hashtag. If you're an account that has 100 followers and you're only getting like 500 views, or you have a hard time getting past 1,000 views, you would not want to use hashtags that have 5 billion posts, because there's zero chance you'll make the top posts. So you use hashtags that are a little bit weaker, that have, let's say, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million, 30 million views. So according to your engagement rate.
Okay.
Finding the hashtag, look, like if you're in the comedy niche, search up hashtag comedy and then run down the list, comedy this, and then like there's like, it's probably a bunch of them. Exactly. And write it out in your notes app or something.
And also another question right now, I have a sports niche, trying to cover a couple different ones. Should I focus on one? So that goes like in a general matter. Let's say I have like different, whatever, like interests and stuff like that. So should I focus on one as opposed to do it all at the same time? What would you recommend?
You mean, should I go down a certain vertical, like a certain niche?
I believe so. The question is a little bit incomplete. Maybe the person who asked the question, maybe, Hugo?
I don't know if they want to
person? Yes. So who? James? Well, there is James. I'm gonna mute James, okay?
No, I would try to. I would try to start straight out the gate down a certain vertical. They call it lateralness of the account, a certain vertical, and then the bigger you get, the more you can start to slowly transition into another area and kind of do like a hybrid method.
Okay.
Until you get to really, really big, and then it doesn't matter.
So I'm gonna unmute James, and also I'm gonna unmute after Angel. Okay, Ingrid.
Okay.
Okay, go James. I'm gonna unmute you.
Hey. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put a few questions, but I'm not sure. Yeah, because I'm doing kind of mixed. So I'm doing like business mindset. I have a social media marketing agency. So I'm trying to like just stick to business, but I also want to do it to attract clients inbound. But I also want to build a personal brand on there. So I want to make sure that it's okay to do that,
Wait, so what exactly is the question?
So it's basically like, I want to basically build a personal brand, and then from that, just have basically be able to get clients from this. But also at the same time, like do, like I said, I'm sorry, I want to build like a personal brand with it, but then I also want to have be able to get clients from it, have a business.
I mean, if you're divided on the niche that you want to go down, then you create 2 accounts. It's very simple.
2 accounts?
If you want to have a more personal, kind of like a personal brand that has nothing to do with social media marketing, your agency, and getting clients and lead generation, whatever, then you start a certain account and you go down that vision or that vertical. And then if you want to have more business development, marketing stuff, then you go down with a second account. In the past, having 2 accounts on the same device would be destructive for the account because they would view you as a business, and therefore we limit your organic reach.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Around it. But now it's like you can have up to 3, no problem.
Wow, so do I have to have that, or can I just kind of still just do business in general? Because I see what you're doing a little bit, but I noticed that you're like, I'm trying to figure out what you're doing. I've been studying you. Because I know you have a sportswear brand, but then a lot of your content is just like facts and like top 7 this, top 5 that, but it really doesn't relate to your business. And I'm like, oh, that must just be a strategy.
Because my vision at the moment is not lead generate, it's not to monetize. All the sponsorship deals that I get, I refuse. I'm not interested in driving traffic directly right now to my business. Not interested. So everything I'm doing right now is just the temporary measure to try to get to a certain threshold. Maybe it's like 1 million followers, or to verification where they give favoritism for the accounts. That is what I'm doing. Depends your goal.
Yeah, I kind of want to have a big account. So I want to have a big account, but I don't know if that's possible with straight. But then I've been seeing on my For You page, TikTok is pushing business accounts to me. So they're pushing me with accounts that have like 177,000 likes on it, and then the views are like 500,000. Like they're doing good, and they're just doing like business facts and like how to make $1,000 this way. Like I've been seeing those accounts, and I'm like, well, should I replicate that? So I become that next account like that, or
the best thing to do is to take a look at the accounts that are already in your niche. Maybe take a look at some elements of what they're doing as far as ideas and contents. But it's not true that everything that they do is necessarily the most optimal way by far. Everybody told me you should be. Everybody thought, okay, you should do dance videos and cringe videos and comedy videos and whatever. And I was like, well, that's cool, but I'm gonna do my own thing. So you can do everything.
Right. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. But so okay. So what's with the accounts that they're using no hashtags at all, and they're like blowing up? How is that working?
Like I said beforehand, like the hashtags are just it's to classify your account properly, but they're not necessary to go viral on the app. But it facilitates you to go viral because they're going to push it to the right audience.
And are they doing that just by recognition of what your video is? by it's just scanning what the video is, and then it'll push it to other dance videos or whatever. That's what I've been noticing girls do with other dudes and people. Like they have no hashtag. So like, is it just based on what the video, what the app is reading the video as, and then it pushes it to like a viral audience because it's that type of content?
They push it with a misclassification, but since people still engage with it, it manages to go viral.
Okay.
I'm just trying to give you the most optimal. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, James. I'm gonna go to Angel just because we have to move on. So
I understand.
I'm gonna mute. Thank you, James. I'm gonna mute Angel. Hello, Angel.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so on TikTok, I'm pretty sure you remember me too on Instagram. I've been messaging you a lot. I cover a lot of different sports, and I try to talk about boxing, basketball, football, UFC, a little bit of everything. But I noticed that on TikTok, it doesn't necessarily help. Once I switch to a different sport, all my views like drop instantly, and then it takes me like a couple of weeks to come back up. So I guess my question is more, should I focus just on one sport for the time being and then later on expand a little bit more, or what do you think?
Is the scope of what you're telling me in like the last 8 weeks, or was that like before the 8 weeks?
Oh, in the last 8 weeks it got worse, but it was pretty much the same, just not as bad. It just got worse now.
No, I mean, first of all, I don't think the sports niche is like particularly that big. So I wouldn't worry about, okay, I'm gonna just focus on soccer instead of football, NBA, whatever. I would keep it open because you don't want to run out of ideas, because a lot of times we do run out of ideas. But let me get into the second part of this, this panel like pretty soon, and you're gonna see what I mean by the formatting. And even your worst videos or the things that you think don't work are gonna freaking work. I'll show you. I mean, like for example, me, I'm like doing a bunch of stuff that's like not even down a particular business lateral, but it's going super viral because the post-production and the algorithm reverse engineering. So I would just focus on your sports as a whole and not worry too much about one particular sport, unless that's the goal.
Thank you.
So and Angel just give a thumbs up. So I suppose the answer was, yeah, okay, good stuff. Just to make sure, guys, I mean, so far we covered the algorithm. Right now we covered it all. We have one last question, and after that we'll take maybe like a few minutes, a break, and we'll come back to the second part, which will be the tactics. So the last question is from Jesse. I'm a content creator, and my niche revolves around working with a variety of people in different niches. So do you recommend just following other creative accounts, since that's what he is, or the niches my clients are involved as well?
Okay, so wait, let me just reread so I understand fully. Do you recommend following other creative accounts or the niche my clients are involved as well? I recommend following just accounts that are in line with your accounts. I mean, you could follow your client and maybe raise his ego a little bit and be like, oh, yo, bro, you follow me? Please follow me, But it doesn't particularly, one follow is not going to help him. You know what I mean? The standard is your account. So if you want to grow your account as a creative person or a creative director or a creative content creator, then you should be doing every behavior into that lateral. And you could just explain to your clients, look, I mean, I want to follow you, but I'm not going to follow you because I want to try to grow my personal brand as well. But I'm going to help you as much as possible to grow your brand. I mean, I hope that answers, yeah.
Yeah, you're smiling. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so guys, let's just take maybe like a break at like 2 minutes if ever you need to go to the restroom, stuff like that. And after that, we'll be back in 2 minutes tops. Okay. In the meantime, if you have questions, feel free to write them down in the comments. And at the end, if we have time, we will answer them. Michael will answer them. Okay, we'll be back in 2 tops. Thank you, guys.
Oh, Gadi Abud is here, my man.
No, I see people also from the the live yesterday. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm really excited about this. I learned so much, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I mean, you can write down in the comments because right now Hugo's just mute you all. So, I mean, he has control. So how do you guys think, how do you guys find the webinar so far? Any added value, anything specific that you'd like us to cover as well that we haven't covered within the categories?
Oh yeah, so I think James was asking if there's going to be a replay.
Yes, all the webinars record, so this, you can follow us at Influence Tonight. It's gonna be on the YouTube page, Facebook page. We're gonna make it available and pretty soon. Yeah, everything is recorded. So I'm gonna share it with all of you if you want. So for those that want, they can share directly to your emails. If not, it's on our Facebook page and YouTube.
Just make sure that we're all on the same page. In the meantime, so far, within the algorithm, so 3 categories, 3 things that we covered, that Michael covered, the micro overview algorithm. The 2, out of the 5 metrics, you have 2, which are the most important ones, which is the rewatch rate as well as the completion rate. So the entire video needs to have been watched. The second thing that we covered, that Michael covered, is the authority rank. So really important. So maximum reach out of your account. The authority rank, and the last one is the classification. And like Michael just mentioned, yes, the hashtags can is important type of thing, but not that much. It's only there, mainly there to to allow how would you say
classification of the account, so you can target the audience properly.
Yeah, for the niche. Yeah. And then you follow, you like, you comment people that are within your niche. If not, forget about that. It will take down your account. Okay, just make sure that all of that is clear. I have a question. We'll take that afterwards. Okay, so we'll go into the other section, which is the tactics. The first one, as I mentioned, will be just to cover it all, content creation. And within the content creation, you have the first scene, you have the main body, you have the last part. So go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so this is the part that I think you guys probably like the most, because it's like very tactical, because it really, really works at the moment. In my videos now, it's almost like when I post a video, I'm like 80%, 90% sure it's gonna go viral, to that level. So, okay, so I created this I thought of this viral video structure. It's like a template, okay? So I don't know, I mean, I hope everyone here used TikTok in advance, TikTok before, so they have an idea of how to make videos and stuff. But you know how you could kind of film a first scene and then stitch the next scene and then stitch the next scene and then stitch the next scene? All right, perfect. So I'll start with the first scene, okay? This is really, really, really important, because everybody that goes onto your profile and sees your content is coming down the For You page vertical. The For You page vertical. So all of the moves you do should be in line with the For You page vertical. So here's the first scene. Let's say the first scene is 4 seconds. Okay, let's just say it's 4 seconds. If you decide to make a video where it's continuous the whole way, at least try to think of a way to segment your videos into parts. So let's say the first scene is 4 seconds. Here's what I do that works super well to grab their attention, and I'm playing a lot into the subconscious mind of the person, okay? They're coming down the For You page vertical like this. So what do? I fire a horizontal transition, so you can edit the videos afterwards in the post-production. One of the effects, one of the transitions is called horizontal. I fire a horizontal transition, it fires a wave to the right side. And the reason why I do that is not because I think it's aesthetic. It's because I'm trying to break the natural movement pattern of the person that is coming down the For You page vertical. So they're coming downwards like this. I put a horizontal transition this way to block them in their footsteps. I do it on purpose. It's not for fun.
Everything you do is on purpose.
So I break the natural movement pattern of the person from the For You page, because that's the most important. The second thing I do is I fire, let's say the first scene is 4 seconds, okay? Try to follow 4 seconds. I set a duration of a sticker or an emoji at the top left over here, right over here, for 1 second. I just fire it as a flash, just to get their eye, because I know people read from left to right. I know they're reading from left to right. So I fire an emoji from left, on the top side left, and then I put a primary headline of what the video is going to be about on that first scene right away in the center at the top over here with a text bubble. Okay? because you don't want them to guess what the video is going to be about. You want them to be like, okay, this video is going to be about this. Okay, I'm ready to sit here for 15 seconds, because they're moving incredibly fast. They're freaking swiping at there's no tomorrow on the For You page. They want to know right away, this video is about this. Oh, it's too difficult. I have to guess what it's about. I'm out. So you put a headline at the top over here with a text bubble that has heavy contrast with the background, so they can see right away and read right away what the thing is going to be about. I always put the headline of the video, I put the most important element of the headline in capital letter so they can read in 2 seconds. So just to give you an example, top 7 countries with the most whatever, I put top in capital letter. One of the videos I made, 6 deadliest famines of all time, I put 6 deadliest in capital letter, because I know people are going to be attracted with their eye to the word, so they can see what it's about right away. And the last thing I do with the text bubble of the headline is I put an emoji all the time. I always put an emoji, because if it looks like a big block of text, they don't want to read it. It's ugly. And the last thing I do for the first scene is I put, before the last thing. So just getting back to the headline, right underneath the headline, now what I've been doing in the last 2 months is I've been putting a sub headline for a detail to complement the primary headline. So top 7 countries by top 7 economies in the world, let's say, and then it'll be underneath in parentheses, right underneath, by GDP PPP or something, or by GDP per capita right underneath, in very, very small with a minimal color text bubble. And the last thing I do for the first scene is I fire a 1 second. So from second 3 to second 4 of the first scene, I fire an emoji or a sticker on the right side in big, in the center. So I fire an emoji at the top left, just to give you guys a sequencing to get a better idea. Fire top left. I fire a transition horizontal. I fire an emoji on top left. Headline over here with high contrast. Primary element in capital letter with emoji, with heavy contrast with background. And finally, I fire an emoji on the right side in big.
Right now, what I did is I asked Hugo maybe to show, so that way a lot of people are visual, so that way they have an idea. I see Sandy. I got you, Sandy. I got you.
Put the most recent one just to see.
In the meantime, guys, you notice, the headline, what Michael was talking about, the top 7 is in big letters, in capital letter. So that's what it was talking about. And the emoji also. And the contrast, you see all of that now, right?
The reason why I do it with that sequence is because basically what I'm trying to do is first I break the vertical movement pattern of the person down the For You page, and then I'm trying to divert. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to block them in their footsteps from a vertical movement, and then I'm trying to divert their eye from left to the right side, because the next scene is coming from the right side. I want to try to move them this way onto the next scene. It's very, very, very important. You don't want them to keep going down. Okay, so that's the basic idea of the first scene. The body of the piece of content needs to be, I like to put a lot of climax points with high energy throughout the entire video. Keep them hooked on. As soon as there's a 1 second or 2 second thing, it's going to be the difference between 3,000 views and 30,000 views. If there's a 1 second pause in the video where the guy's looking at you like, "Yo, bro, hurry up," they moved on to the next video. You just lost 10 times the amount of traffic you could have gotten. It's that difference. That's the difference. So throughout the entire video, climax points, some sort of progression throughout the whole video, and get them to wait all the way to the end of the video, because we know that the rewatch rate and the completion rate are the most important. Once they reach the final scene, so let's say for me, when I do top 7 countries, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, once they reach number 1, where I make the announcement for the number 1 guy of that that idea, I have to keep it high energy and short. As soon as they get to the number 1 and they're waiting for the number 1 and I announce it, they're already ready to move on to the next thing. So it has to be fast. Like the last scene, 1 second, not even. High energy, 1 second, cut.
Michael, that's amazing. Guys, you know what I think would be good, and let me know if you think so as well. Maybe, Hugo, you can show again his video, the top 7.
Yeah.
And show it straight, straight through. take us through the entire video so that our eyes have the time to at least see. You know, Sandy, I got you right there. You know, my man, I got you.
Okay, so I'm gonna share it.
yeah.
I don't know if it is gonna have any volume, but I'm gonna share it with the volume in. So maybe if people are like with the headphones, just be careful. I'm gonna try to share right now.
Perfect. And if anything, like if you can't see it properly, just rewatch it again after this entire webinar.
So I'm gonna share the latest one. Go.
PlayStation players in the world. Number 7, Brazil. Number 6, Japan. And number 5, Spain. Number 4, Germany. Number 3, France. 2, United Kingdom. 1, United States. Top 7 countries with the most PlayStation players in the world.
All right. You want me to show another one, or that's?
Maybe show like let me see here.
But before you show another one, I just want to take the time. Do you guys at home have any questions regarding everything that Michael just mentioned? Because we talked about, you know, first part, you know, the first scene, the body, and the last part, you know, which lasts like 1 second, and all the way through, super high energy. The body, you have the capital letters, you have the contrast, you have the emoji, you have the horizontal as well. So do you guys have the time to see all of that? Do you want us to?
I can share it again if you want.
I have a question. Hold on a second.
Before we get to the questions, I also have a lot of stuff to add on top of that because it's very important. Yeah, go ahead.
It's only because it's regarding the transition. Sandy is wondering, do you use different transitions filter?
Transition filters? You mean effects between each scene?
I think so, but.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that after. But anyways, I use between every scene, I use the effect sway. There's like a shake of the camera like this, and it moves on to the next scene. I always do that.
Okay.
Sway. The idea is to take a 15-second video and make it feel like it's 10 seconds. You could even write in small somewhere in the video, wait till the end, ... Wait for it, ... It's very, very, very effective. A lot of guys have done it. It's like a big supplement to your video. Another supplement that I do for my videos is I put a countdown sticker at the top right, especially for people in the educational niche. It's pretty good to do this. So you search up in the sticker section at the bottom when you're doing post-production. You search up the sticker countdown, and then there's going to be a list of a bunch of countdowns, and you put the sticker, one of the stickers, let's say it's 15-second video, at the top right in small. And what this basically does is that since a lot of people, like some people have OCD or they're waiting for like the thing to just count down to like 0, it's just subconscious. They're waiting for the thing to count down 0. They're more likely to wait. And if that countdown could help you get an additional 10% completion rates, it's a big difference in the grand scheme. Now, if you notice on my videos, for a 15-second video, I'm using the countdown that is 19 seconds. Now, people are like, yo, bro, are you stupid? There's 19-second countdown on 50-second video. Do you even know math? Yeah, bro, I do that on purpose. The reason why I do it on purpose, I put a 19-second countdown on top right because the viewers are expecting subconsciously that the video is going to be 19 seconds. But it prematurely cuts at the 15-second mark, so you're guaranteed the completion rate. Same for the videos that are 25 seconds. I put a 30-second countdown, try to get them to, finish prematurely. Make sure that throughout the video, again, high energy. If you're somebody that's speaking on camera, make sure you're looking at the camera, not at the screen. And make sure another thing too is that I got this from a lot of public speakers. If you're speaking on camera and your energy level is level 5, okay, 5 out of 10. The guy chilling at home on his couch, he's level 2. So in order for you to raise his energy level to a level 5, you have to be going all out assault level 9. That's why I do a lot of like the hand movements. And people are like, yo, are you insane or something? I'm like, no, I'm doing it on purpose to try to get them to like be energized. A lot of emotion, maximum dopamine released throughout the entire video, to try to get them to stay all the way to the end and to interact with a piece of content and potentially share it and comment and all kinds of stuff. For the speaking thing, one more thing I would add is that a lot of people on TikTok and a lot of people on social media in general, since they are afraid to speak, there's a fear that is attributed to speaking. Okay, it's like, yo, I don't know what to say. I think they're gonna judge me. No, whatever. If you can pass that fear and get out of the what I call the visual entity, so like dancers, if they're strictly dancers, or they're strictly fitness people doing workout videos, or they're strictly attractive girl or attractive guy that's just like a model, that is a visual entity, and I just see you as like a visual thing, but I don't really care much about you. And this is going to be very important in the next part when it comes to monetization. When the guy's doing an influencer campaign and he's figuring out which influencer he should choose, or the influencer himself is trying to drive traffic to a lead page, or he's trying to make money on his thing, the conversion rate is going to be literally pathetic because you've never created the relationship with your audience by speaking to them. And things that are online, it's all about trust. If I just see you, but I don't really know what you're about, I don't really know what you're thinking, I don't really trust you, when it comes to you to do a call to action to your lead generation page, I'll be like, yeah, I'm not really that interested in taking this guy's advice that much because I don't really trust him that much. For the song, yeah, sorry.
Just before you go, because you talk about high energy, you talk about the looking at the camera. You said that sometimes it might be intimidating. What did you, maybe like a few tips and tricks for people at home who might go through that as well? What did you do? Did you just practice? Like, because before it wasn't as good as it is now. So what did you do to get there?
Yeah, so see, for me, like I used to be terrible at speaking on camera, so bad. And I'm still like trying to work on it. If you're starting out at ground zero, or you're in an account that's like kind of like a zombie account or something, and you want to try to like practice a lot, you want to get into the speaking thing, I'd recommend just making a zombie account or a regular account first and just getting used to being on TikTok, practicing speaking on camera like there's no tomorrow, over and over and over again. As I always say, like LeBron James, he didn't become the champion in the NBA just by like all of a sudden he shows up, yo, what's up, bro, and then takes down everybody. He freaking trains over and over again. For some reason, when it comes to the social media realm and speaking on camera and content creation, people are like, yo, I'm going to jump on this thing for 2 weeks and I'll be ready. And it's like, bro, you're not going to be ready. You need like 2 months. You need years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it. You were about...
Just get used to practicing. And if you have a hard time speaking in one shot, like 15 seconds in one shot, then you could always retake the video and break it up into smaller segments. You take do 3 seconds of a shot, and then you can do another 2 seconds, and another 3 seconds, and another 2 seconds. A lot of practice. You know what I mean?
And I don't think it's something that you cover. Like, do you like film out of your cell phone, and after that you import the file, or you do it straight from the app? What do you do?
Okay, so it's very important. This is very important actually. A lot of people, what they do is they film things elsewhere for their YouTube video, for their Instagram video, for their whatever. Then they just take the video and they just throw it onto TikTok. Now, TikTok is gonna look at that piece of content that you uploaded, which was not native to the platform, and they're going to treat it as a foreign entity, and it's going to go through 10 times more evaluation checkpoints, like those waves, but more checkpoints at each wave. And so you could still go viral, but it's much, much more difficult to go viral. Much, much more difficult. And one more thing also for the people that are speaking, is to use a soundtrack with no vocals in the background, so it complements your video, but it doesn't intertwine with the vocals of your voice, because I want to understand what you're saying, bro. So I use a lot of soundtracks like Hans Zimmer, Adon, Audio Machine, Ninja Tracks, whatever. Specifically for the audio, one thing that I do that's very, 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 very powerful right out the gates is I'll time, let's say like, you guys listen to EDM, you know how like there's a build up and then a drop. I'll position the song, I'll position the build up between I'll position the drop between scene 1 and scene 2, right at the intersection. So right out the gate on scene 1, it's like build up, and then at scene 2, immediately drops. So the person's like already in like the most energized part of the song, and it's just like a beautiful way to orchestrate the entire piece of content to optimize the full completion rate and the rewatch rate, and yeah. Even soundtracks that have a lot of other soundtracks, if they don't have a drop, then having a soundtrack that has a progression level throughout the video all the way to the end, to the climax points, very, very powerful.
Before we get it, also because you talked a little bit about, you said the word monetize, and those are part of the question also that we were received in advance. I receive a lot of questions right now. We might not have time to go through them all. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. I received one question which, like, what is the wave? You talked about the waves. Like, what is it? Can you explain?
Oh, the waves. The waves is what I said at the beginning, at the entire beginning of the webinar, when I did the macro overview of the algorithm. They're going to artificially boost your piece of content to 100 to 150 people. That is the first wave. First wave of organic reach. Then they're going to see. Then they're going to boost to 500 people. Then 1,000 people. Then 1,500, and so forth.
Also, Sandy's wondering, like, how long does it take you to create one video?
It really depends on the formatting of my video, but now it's starting to take a little bit more time because I'm really putting every detail of the video. I'm like trying to like optimize it. So it could take, like, editing an entire video could probably take me like 50 minutes, an hour.
Okay, 15 an hour just for the editing part.
50 minutes. Yeah, 50 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Okay. I have other questions. I mean, other questions are coming in right now. I just want you to have the time maybe to talk a little bit about monetization, because I know there's something that interests a lot of people as well. And if we have time, we'll cover the rest of the questions.
So monetization, like monetization in general. I mean, the way to monetize on TikTok is the built-in monetization. The way to monetize directly with the app is through the live session. The way to monetize on the internet, fundamentally always, is to find some sort of hub of attention, whether it's TikTok, IG, programmatic ads, YouTube, I don't give a shit what it's called. And then to extract all of that traffic and lead generate it to some sort of URL or link. The ways to make money in general is usually either you do affiliate marketing. The lowest levels are affiliate marketing, which is you basically promote somebody else's product for a commission. You can use ClickBank. ClickBank it's a huge marketplace with a bunch of affiliates and companies. ClickBank. Another low level way of doing it is sponsorship deals when you get big enough. It doesn't require you to put up a lot of effort as far as infrastructure to monetize. But the best ways to monetize always for maximum amount of cash flow is to create some sort of brand business, drop shipping, digital products, sales funnels, whatever.
I also have a question, because right now I'm going through the question that we received before, how to get clients with TikTok that we covered, how to get videos, reaching 100K plus views, how to use hashtag effectively. You've mentioned that, and also mentioned that it's not the most important thing necessarily. How to post the right content for my audience as a personal brand. Like, how do you know which content to post? Like, how do you get that idea?
You just have to the first step you should always take on anything in social is to figure out some sort of vision for your personal brand. Like, what exactly is it that you want to achieve with this thing? Are you just posting for fun? Are you posting to become an expert in the field and become an authority in the space by putting out the best value up front for free, and then having some sort of network effect to get all of the money coming in? One super easy way, if you're in the educational sector or the educational kind of like domain, to get a bunch of ideas for viral content creation is you go on Instagram. Okay, you go on Instagram and then you check the repost pages that have graphics. The graphic has a title on top already, and then it has a bunch of information that is attributed to that title, to that headline, and you bring the graphic to life. Super easy way to just get a bunch of ideas without having to actually go on Google and then search up and then whatever. For every idea that I do, I always write out all of my ideas, and I never judge the idea on its own into my notes app. I have a massive list of ideas. So when I'm doing other stuff and chilling with my family or whatever, or my friends, and then it's time for me to come down to content creation, boom, I have my reference list, straight into the filming.
Oh, that's really genius. Good stuff. And also, it's important to mention, I mean, you're also in consulting. So people right now, are watching are part of the webinar. I mean, you might have questions. I see a lot of questions that are more personal. I'm always trying to focus on the general questions. Michael is a consultant. I wrote down, his account for those of you who don't know, the King Khieu. I wrote down his account. So you can, the first things first, I mean, you study also what works, right? You study what works, and then you're trying to find a niche, that looks similar to you, and you use that to your own advantage. And if you need more assistance, I mean, you go straight to Michael. He'll be more than happy to help you. It is now. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing too is like, for content specifically, the way I like to distribute my type, I divide the types of content into two. Okay, there's two types of content in my view. I call it viral content versus brand content. The viral content means that the primary purpose of the piece of content is to maximize the amount of traffic that comes into my page. And the brand content is just, the primary purpose of the brand content is to reinforce my brand equity and vision for the people that follow me, and build up the relationship. Because sometimes, a lot of times what we do on social media is we go full brand content, zero viral elements or viral pieces of content, and we end up with a full stagnation for 3 years. And it's like, bro, you have to find a way to change it up and get a bunch of traffic onto your page. So the viral content is like, you expect to get a bunch of traffic, and then hopefully they can check your other brand content or your other whatever. Yeah.
A really interesting, Dimitris, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. It's in Germany, I believe. Okay, so like 2 different languages. So is that, that's why I don't know what is right. I guess what he's saying is that he speaks 2 different languages. So which language do he choose? Can he focus on 2 or just 1, or what's the best way to go about it? That's how I understand the question.
That's another question that comes back to how you want to portray yourself on social media. You can go, I mean, I've seen accounts that are fully Russian. They have 1 million followers. If you're more comfortable with Russian, then you go down the vertical. If you want to be portrayed as like a kind of like, both languages. For me, I know French. I'm not doing any French content. I just kind of hinted over here. Okay, I speak French. I say 1 word in French, or 1 word in French here, or whatever. Or one thing one thing that I referenced that I'm Canadian, but like I never wanted to position myself as like a French influencer or a French like expert. So I just went full English.
Maybe something, I don't know, like I'm not saying that you know every account by heart, but maybe, you talked about educational, we have coaches, we have branding, we have people like Khieu, maybe like example of accounts that people could refer to. So that could be maybe an added value. I don't know if you have anything, top of your mind. Okay.
I barely even on TikTok. I barely even consume other people's content that much. Like I'm just like, I'm gonna do my thing. I don't give a crap what the hell the mainstream thing is. I would really check my account very, 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 very carefully on the details, because I've been incredibly systematic with every single move I did. A lot of accounts that you see, the guy kind of does something, he thinks it kind of works, but he doesn't know why it works, or he's not systematic with structure. My account is like full structure driven.
Michael, do you have anything to add before because we will ask people to ask their question directly to you. We have Gadzi, Ohadi, and Moses. So before you go with those people, do you want to add something?
Not particularly. One thing I would never do for content. Okay, because the thing is, like, if you're deciding to drive traffic to a certain URL or drive traffic to your Instagram profile, because I see this a lot, okay? What the guy does is like, they'll put like, hey, follow me. They'll add 5 seconds to the end of the video. Hey, bro, follow me on Instagram for more. Follow me on TikTok for more. I have a product that you can buy. No, whatever. The call to action that you put at the end of the video has to be, first of all, very soft, not an order, so you can maximize conversion. And it has to be lightning speed fast. Because if you decide to put a call to action in the end of the video saying, follow me on Instagram for more or whatever, and the call to action lasts 5 seconds, as soon as the guy that looks at your video sees the call to action, the first word, follow me on whatever, he moved on to the next video. So that little 5 seconds you decided to add at the end of the video came at the expense of your completion rate and your rewatch rate. So if you decide to do a call to action, it has to be 1 second. So one of the call to actions I do is like, I go like, for questions, message me on Instagram, but super fast. I write it out over here. Questions, DM me on Instagram, and then I kind of like finish off my video with like, questions, DM me on Instagram.
Guys, I hope you're getting a lot of values. Hugo, if you want to, unmute maybe Khadi or Gadzi, so
Yeah,
that way you can.
so usually we are going to finish around 7:15, but I'm gonna give you another 10 minutes. So if people that want to leave at 7:15, it's okay. If not, we can stay until 7:30. But I have two questions for Mose. I see Mose, Gadzi. I'm pretty sure he's there, but we're gonna go with Mose first. So I'm gonna mute Mose. She can answer the question that she sent us. I'm gonna unmute you. All right, Mose.
Okay. Hi. I just launched a YouTube channel not long ago. I'm a health professional. I'm a pharmacist. I do content on health and drugs. And I want to know if I want to go on TikTok, how should I translate it for the TikTok platform? It's like yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like more educational. I teach people about drugs and health, and my target audience is millennials. So I want to know how's the best way to like capture people's attention, because on TikTok, I think that's a challenge. Capture people's attention, to be quick, to be straight to the point and entertaining.
So one thing that works on TikTok very, 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 very well is lists. You can make lists. Lists,
okay.
Yeah, that's right. Like four reasons why no. 5 reasons why this. Are you trying to portray yourself as somebody in the health industry to help students kind of like get into the field, or you're just trying to portray yourself as an expert to maybe get clients for whatever?
For right now, no, just for educational purposes, and it's for like the general population.
Yeah, so the best thing to do is just like on TikTok, because even I've struggled with this a lot because I wanted to get in more in-depth subjects, and it's very difficult. Like you can't explain something related to like physiology or something like super in-depth for like something related to the body in like 15 seconds. It's like, bro, it's too complex.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is to make lists. The best thing to do is to do like the 4 mistakes that the number one thing for and then to do a lot of storytelling, but try to summarize it very, 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 very quick in bullet form. And then if you decide to go more in depth for a 1-hour video podcast or sessions or whatever, you can drive a lot of the traffic to your YouTube channel for sure. But I would keep things. I would try to keep things really relatively fast and short on TikTok, and just putting out a bunch of the best amount of value for the person as much as possible.
Okay, so to sum things up, make lists.
Yeah, lists, mistakes, reasons. Tutorials, step by step is very, very, very good too. Step 1, do this. How do I get into the? How do I become a pharmacy? How do I apply to become a pharmacist? How do I go about in college to become a pharmacist? Step by step.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mo. I'm gonna mute Gadi. Won't be long. I'm not sure if she's there, but if not, we have the question. So, what's up?
Hello.
Hey guys.
Salut à tout le monde. Hey, Michael, thanks for everything, man. Great advice, man. I really appreciate. Hello?
Yeah, bro, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. What's up, bro?
Fantastic. So my question was, basically, I just heard it at the end before sending the question. You said if we don't engage with our community, say I'm in jump rope, I'm in fitness, whatever my niche, if I don't actually engage with the comments in the hashtags, like I do would say like on Instagram, right? Because I actually do not scroll on TikTok. Let me be honest with you guys. And I find it hard, but I feel like just like you said they will take down my account if I don't engage, right? Is that true?
They will take down your account if you don't engage in comments.
Okay.
Is that
So
I'm asking you, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I feel like I've been posting I started a new account and I've been posting, I believe, good content, and I've seen the similar kind of content on in my hashtags, but I still feel like I get no traction. So is that because I'm not engaged with the jump rope community?
It just means that maybe your video hasn't been optimized enough for the algorithm. That's pretty much simple as that. No, I mean,
but
it's always like the market.
Get into the habits. Of
that?
like commenting. I do need to comment, you know, like make it a thing every day, unless
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
commenting is
like
a thing,
my
but
account.
the influx of traffic always comes from the For You page. You commenting on your posts might help a little bit, but it's not the main thing that's going to drive all the traffic, right? So I think it just comes down to optimizing all your content for the algorithm, and then the market decides ultimately. Even if you think you have good content, which you probably do, it might just not be tweaked enough to be in line with the completion rate, rewatch rate.
Okay.
So we can work on that for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I see. But so, is there any like question? Is there any say like strategies to teach the algorithm about who is my actual niche, right, or my audience? Because I do believe, say, if my content gets shared to people in fitness or actually that jump rope, it might perform better with the algorithm. So is that a factor I should consider, or just like actually leave it just to the market and no need to comment or do something?
Yeah, well, that's why I said in the first part about the classification of the accounts. Like, you want to basically engage only with fitness content, only with jump rope people. Don't even follow me. Don't even view my videos, because viewing my videos is going to be hurting your account too.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Hashtags, everything related to jump roping and the caption.
Okay, like spend time with that. Okay. Actually, yep. Okay, makes sense.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, so we have one last question from James, but James already asked a question. So is there anyone else that wants to has a question? If not, we will go with James, and then maybe we could finish with the webinar. But I'm gonna unmute James. If there is anyone else, we're gonna get another question. After that, we're gonna end the webinar. I got you, Lucas. So I'm gonna just go with James, okay?
Perfect.
All right, James. You there?
Yes. Hey, just about sharing content on TikTok. Can I share that to my Facebook?
You have like a back sound that's like really loud.
My question's in the chat. Can we just read it?
Yeah, we will do it. Thank you. Wait, can you read the question? I'm gonna mute James.
Sure. So the question was, what about posting and sharing my content from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook to YouTube and all other platforms? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do it. There's no harm particularly in it. Again, the best approach to any platform in particular is to be as native as possible to the platform. But that's like a great way to just like throw another Instagram post over there, another TikTok post on your Instagram, even on Facebook groups.
All right, so
I would just say, yeah. I mean, it's an extra bonus for you, yeah. Make a compilation. You can even make some compilation videos, stitch them all together if they're all interrelated, and then make that into a 5 minutes or whatever 4 minute YouTube video.
Michael, speaking of which, like, how many videos could one upload a day? What's the norm? What's the best thing to do?
Okay, so there's like some mythology and mysticism around this. Some people are saying that if you post more than 3 videos, especially straight out the gate per day, then it's going to indicate to the algorithm that there's some sort of spam behavior that's happening. To be honest, I don't think there's not even a limit, to be honest. I think you could post. I've done a case study of my friends. We've seen a guy on TikTok. This guy literally posted 50 videos in one day. 50 in one day. And each video got like 50,000 views, 30,000, 100,000 views. And he had like almost no followers.
Oh, wow. So
as long as you're able to make sure that you're posting up a good frequency, but you have to make sure again that each video is properly optimized, because the low performing videos will harm your accounts. There's no limit. I mean, I would try to aim. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to aim for 4 or 5 times a day. If you could aim for two posts per day minimum, that'd be a very, very, very good number.
All right. So I have one last question. This is the last question from the webinar. It's from Josh. I think he's gonna say it. So I'm gonna mute Josh, and then we're gonna be the last question. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Josh.
Cool. Hey, Mike. Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope I don't lose you. Perfect. Mike, first of all,
Wait, I don't hear you.
good, man. When is your book coming out? That's the first question. When is your book coming out?
TikTok book?
Social
Yeah,
media.
I don't know, bro.
Your book. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, TikTok, social media, any platform. You gotta put out a book. No, but in all seriously, in terms of what I've been listening, so all the comments you've been saying, the strategy, your vision, you know, how you're using social media. Do you think that there's room in the finance world? I've seen some people take a similar approach with lists, and they're doing pretty good. I'm just wondering, is there a lot of room, or is that a niche that still has yet to develop in the social media platform?
You're saying, sorry, because you kind of like lagged
Generally
out a little
speaking.
bit. You were saying, is there a lot of room for people that are in finance, private equity, hedge fund, investment banking, whatever?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
From an educational perspective.
It's probably one of the best things you can possibly do right now, while everybody in finance and business and e-com and private equity and banking disrespect TikTok. You're literally it's legit the best place to be right now to do finance. I mean, I've already seen it in business when I started when I was doing business content like 5 months ago. The niche was literally puny. Finance, puny. So as long as you post up things that are educational and finance, because the supply and demand is insane, and as long as you're not posting things that seem kind of scammy, where the algorithm, because you don't want to violate the guidelines at all as well, because if they see that you're promoting something that is like misleading or whatever, they can take down your posts. Like, they're very strict.
Right.
TikTok is the best place to be. I mean, probably everybody in finance is like, yo, bro, this TikTok thing is a bunch of kids. You can't make any money out of it. And I have too much ego to be able to approach as a finance guy onto TikTok. And that's the best thing for you. The more they disrespect the app, it's better for you.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. So, thank you so much to every one of you. I really appreciate. Thank you, Michael. You really gave a lot of good insights. Ingrid, she's writing what we covered so far. And this webinar is going to be, it's recorded, so it's going to be available on our Facebook and YouTube channel, Influence Tonight. If you want to follow, you can go there. If not, I'm going to send you like a small survey from this webinar, so you can answer how we did it. If you like the host, if you like the webinar, if you like the main panelists. I really like what you say, Michael. So any last word, Ingrid? So as to
actually, I want to say one more thing to kind of raise the morale. I just want to say one more thing to raise the morale of a lot of people in here. If they, because it's pretty destructive to see so many people getting like since they have their self-esteem wrapped around their accounts, and the last 8 weeks have been like high competitive level, and the last 2 weeks have been overloaded servers, so your post may not even perform that well because of lags. What I expect is going to happen is that when they reopen this economy because of the lockdown of the coronavirus, and they start freeing up some stuff, freeing up the economy a little bit, and everyone starts going back to work and school and whatever, and it begins to alleviate the servers and alleviate the supply and demand and competitive level on TikTok, you should slowly start to see a rise of your engagement by that very nature. So even if you're having a hard time right now and you're seeing like, yo, my videos get no views because whatever, just know that we're just in a temporary down because of this lockdown thing. Because competition's so high and they're flooded. This quarter has been 350 million downloads, the most downloads in a recorded quarter. Their servers are for sure overloaded. Also, considering it's a short form video app, insane. Anyway, so all I'm trying to say is like, take this time to just practice and get used to it, and don't be too discouraged, even if the video doesn't perform as well as you expected.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. Ingrid, any last word before we close the
Guys, I'm just happy. We're just happy. We're actually thrilled to have been part of it. We really hope that you had a good time, that you enjoyed it, that you're living with a tons of value, that Amara's mom is, leaving confident. So it's, I mean, Sandy, my man, I've never met, as everything figured out. That Jesse, Lucas, Moses, Maud, I'm very happy, Jonathan, Dimitris, Hassan, Ogasan, so Harbin, Angel. Thank you so much, Michael. Once again, I mean, you fucking did that shit. I'm so we met like this week, so that's unbelievable. I really liked it. Merci, Hugo. Thank you so much, Hugo, as well, for putting this all together. Guys, take good care of yourself. Practice makes perfect. That's pretty much what it is. So practice makes perfect, and keep on practicing, keep on doing your thing. Wish you guys a very nice week.
Keep on practicing and try to dismantle your inner fears and insecurities to try to get as much out of this deal as possible. The window is slowly starting to close over time. I can expect us having a good amount of time for the next 5 months, but the competition is definitely rising. Just take huge risk and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Thank you, Michael. Let's finish it with that. All right. See you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Appreciate.
Bye, guys.